Hey everybody, welcome back to Board Game Nation. Today we're going to go through a run-through of 5 tribes. So let's just get started. Okay. Alright, here we go. So I'm first going to go through a quick rules and component run through. I've got the game set up for 2 players, so let's just go through it. The first thing you're going to see is the game comes with gold coins. On one side there's nothing, and on the other side there's a value of what the coins are worth, so you can hide how much gold you actually have. There are palaces, the gold pieces of wood. They're pretty amazingly, nice solid pieces of wood. And palm trees. There's also a stack of market cards. You're going to lay 9 of these out in every game. Every person is going to start with a color in a 2-player game. Everybody's going to have 11 camels. In the regular game, I think it's 8. And you have one of these turn markers. In a 2-player game, you're going to have 2 turn markers. Okay, and everybody's going to start with 50 gold every single time, and you're going to place it so nobody can see the value of what you have. And these are going to be victory points at the end of the game. Okay, so there we go. The other player for a 2-player game has to be pink. I don't have a problem with it, so yeah, there you go. You're going to set up the game, the board like this in a 5 by 6 kind of grid, and this is the turn order track right here, and that's kind of part of it. Then we've got our djinns, and these have special abilities. For instance, on your turn you can spend 1 slave card, which you would get in the market, right, to draw another market card. So you can buy these by doing certain actions. So, and then there's a nice bag of meeples. Tons of them in here, which we're going to place out. So, there's 3 djinns, or genies, that you're going to place out. So, right now we're going to kind of randomly put out, from our bag here, randomly put out meeples. And you're going to take 3, and each square is going to get 3 meeples. So let's do that, and we'll get right back. Okay, so there we go. We've got all the squares filled up with 3 meeples each. We've also randomly placed the starting markers into position for a 2-player game. So basically what we're going to do at the very beginning, starting with this guy, and right here, this first player, first, second, third, fourth, Blue is going to choose how much he wants to bid to go first. So he's going to bid, he will bid 3. And the reason for that is he sees a good option to get something he wants right down here, or even here. There's something there. There's 3 meeples of the same color. So let pink goes, and pink's just like, fine, I'll go here. Really, I'm not going to go for 5, so whatever. So pink goes again, and they're like, well, I will go again, and his meeple pushes up that meeple, so this meeple will go first, then this, then blue. And blue goes, well, I don't care either, because I'm not going to spend 1 to go before these guys. So sorry, this person's going to go first, then blue, then pink, then pink. Okay, so let's go through the actions. Okay, blue is all ready to go. He's paid his $3, so he went there, and he paid it to the general supply, and now it's his turn, so he's going to take this off and go to the first section, the number 1 section. On this little track. And what this means is that next turn he will be the first person to bid for turn order. So now it's his turn. And what he's going to do is he is going to take that off because that's 4. Where is... There we go. Okay, so what he's going to do is that he's going to pick up some meeples in a Mancala kind of action. He's going to drop off those meeples on different squares or buildings until he drops the last one off. And there's a couple of rules about this. The first rule is that when he picks them up, he has to pick up all of them. Then he has to drop them all off, and he cannot go backwards. So he couldn't drop this off and then go backwards. He has to go all the way around wherever he's going, but he can't go back to the last one unless he makes a perfect circle, right? Then he can drop back. He's going to pick up, and he's going to drop off. Nah, will he? No, he'll do this one instead. Drop off until he drops the last one off. And the next rule is when he drops off, he has to drop off in an area that has at least one of the same color that he's dropping off. So if these were all green, he wouldn't be able to drop this one off. But as long as one of them is blue, then he can. So he drops it off, and it just happens to be that all of them are blue. So the next thing he does is he removes all of the meeples that are the same color as the one he dropped off. So he removes all of these. And it actually turns out that he removed them all. And that's a good thing. That actually means that he's claimed this. Now, let's say one of them was not. One of them was green. Well, he would remove all of them, and he would not claim this area because there would be one left. Okay? But in this particular case, he did, which is good. So then you're going to do an action with these meeples. And these meeples, each color of meeple has a particular action. And the action gets stronger for the amount of meeples that you have. So the more meeples, the better. Then you're going to look at the tile once you've done that. And I'm going to explain these all. Then you're going to see if there's any meeples there. If there are no meeples there, then the player gets to claim the tile as his. And from now on, this tile belongs to him. And he will score 5 gold or victory points at the end of the game. Plus, he does this action. If it has a red arrow, he must do it. If it has... it doesn't have a red arrow, he has a choice to do it. So we'll go through these actions as well. So he puts down his meeple, and he has to put out one of these palaces. Now these palaces, once again, they're 5 victory points. So he's just made 10 victory points, plus he hasn't even done his action with the blue meeples yet. Okay? Now, there are different sections here, or different symbols here, and I'm going to go through those now. So, this one does mean you put out a temple. There's another one, which means you put out... Where is it? Oh, here. This one says you're going to put out a palm tree. And you're going to put on the palm tree on the tile that it indicates. The next one says that you can draw one card in the first 3 cards of the market. So this card, and this card you could draw. Okay? And these cards are important because they're going to give you, once again, gold at the, at any time, because you can get... you can always cash them in at any time, but depending on how many different cards you have. Now, if you look here, you can notice that some of these cards have a different amounts of these gold dots on it. And those indicate how rare that card is. For instance, these jewels have 2 dots, which means that there's 2 cards. Which, in actual fact, at the very end, there's another jewel card. So that means that the 2 jewel cards in the entire game are already out. Okay, so that's what this one does. For $3, you can spend $3 and get 1 card in the first 3 cards of the market. This one says spend 6, and you can get 2 cards in the first 6 cards of the market. And the final thing that you can do, if I can find it, is this one. And these are always nice to get because you get this. Plus, if you clear it out, it's 15 points. This says you can buy a gin for 1 meeple if you have it. And I'll explain how you get those. Or if you have you get rid of 1 meeple and 1 slave card from your hand, you can buy a gin. And these gins of all different types of powers, plus they have the victory points at the end of the game. Like I said, this one allows you on your turn to get rid of a slave card to draw from the top of the market. Okay? So there we go. We are back to explaining the meeples. So I pulled up these meeples, I put down my camel, and I put down a palace. Now it's time to do the meeples. So I'm going to look down at my board, and what does the blue meeples do? Well, the blue meeples say that I count up the buildings around the area where I picked up from and times it by the amount of meeples. And if I have any slave cards, I can add them to this meeple. So let's say this is 4. If I had another meeple, another slave card, I could add it, and it would be now 5 meeples. But I don't. So that means that let's count this up. Around this area, including this one, and diagonally, I can count up. So it's 1, is that blue? Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 4 is 16. I immediately get $16 or 16 victory points. Okay? So that's great. That's how that works. Now, immediately with the blue ones, I'm going to discard these blue ones into the bag. They're gone. Okay, now let's do blue's turn again, and let's do something different. So blue is going to move, he's going to go to the second area, so this blue pawn will be second to choose how much he's going to bid for the turn order track, for turn order. And we're off to the races. Now, let's see. I want to get some white guys into my supply. And here we go. Here is a section that it has 2 white guys. So if I end my movement with a white guy in here, I'll get to pick up 3. So I'm going to try to do that. So if I pick up these 4, I would have to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that works perfectly. So I'm going to pick all these up. You have to pick all of them up. And I'm going to drop them off. Now, another rule I didn't say is you can never go diagonally. You have to go from orthogonally, I believe it is. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I dropped a white one off, which means I'm going to pull all of these up. So what does the white ones do before we get into this action? So, well, it tells you right here on your handy dandy sheet that actually, I don't know if it does. Does it? Well, anyways, we already went through the little rule thing. Each one of these is going to be worth 2 victory points at the end of the game. I'm going to put them right there. They're mine now. Okay? Also, if I ever get a chance to go here, I'll be able to buy a gin because now I've got white guys to spend. And that's what I'm going to do, the blue player is going to do next time. So the next thing the blue player is going to do is he's going to see if he cleared this tile. And he didn't, so he cannot claim this tile as his own, but he can spend $3 to get one card in the first three. So he can get this, this, or this. Well, obviously he's going to get that, and yes, he is going to spend... Where's all his gold? Oh, it's under the rule book. Okay, so he's going to give up 5, get 2 back, and he's going to take this card. He's going to flip it upside down so nobody knows, and he's got a special card there. Wonderful. Next, pink's going to go. He's going to go behind, same process. And what is pink going to do? Well, pink is going to go, he's got 2 there. He's got 1, 2, 3. Okay, so he's going to grab these. He's going to drop off 1 here, 1 here. Even though blue owns a space, you can still drop it off. You can still go through it. And 3 here. So right away, we know, hey, there's he's dropped off. There's 3 yellow. So he picks up the 3 yellow. And what does 3 yellow mean? Well, it states that for every yellow meeple that you have in your supply, so these go in his supply, it's going to be worth 3 victory points. Plus, now this is very interesting, for each opponent who has strictly less yellow meeples than you're going to get 10 victory points. Which means that if blue has 1 or 2 yellow meeples, the pink player is going to get 10 victory points. Now, if there was in a 3-player game, if yellow had the most yellow meeples, he would get a maximum of 20 points plus how many he has. So it would be 20 plus 1, 2, 3. 23. Okay? Okay, so it's pink's turn again. So pink moves, goes over here to the last spot. And pink is going to, let's see. There's 4 meeples here now. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. 1, 2, 3. Oop. 4. So once again, picks up the meeples, checks to see if he has majority. He doesn't, so he can choose to do this action. So 3 meeples, which will allow him to draw 3 cards from here. So he'll draw these 3 cards. He has to draw these 3 cards, and these 3 meeples, green meeples, will go into the bag. So that's what green meeples do. They allow you to draw cards from the market. So now we're all done, and we would go back to just bidding for turn order. This is going to be refilled, so all these move down, and we refill to 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, and you can start seeing that these are way more calming. So the slaves have come out, and let's go back to blue. So blue's going to do the same thing. He's going to bid 3. He has to pay for it right away, so he does. He's going to pay, get $2 back from his 5. Boom, boom. Blue again. He's going to do the same thing. Go there. Pink's going to say, you know what? I'm not going to go last. I'm going to pay 1. I'll pay 1 at least. So he pays his 1. And then pink will once again go like that. So it's going to be blue, pink, pink, blue. Okay, so blue's going to go first again. Goes here, goes back. So number 1 spot, and he's going to want to get a genie this time. So it would be nice to get more white guys. So maybe 1, 2, 3. He picks up the white here, and he'll be able to do this action. Well, he's got a lot of guys to do that action. He doesn't have a slave, so he's going to spend 2 guys. They go directly into the bag. Into the bag, into the bag, into the bag, into the bag, into the bag. There you go. And he's going to choose this one, which will allow him to get rid of a slave card to draw from the top of the market deck, and it's worth 8 points at the end of the round, which he can now effectively do now, but he doesn't have any of those types of cards. So it is Pink's turn. Oh, and yes, done. So Pink is now going to go, and Pink is going to choose what they do. We haven't done a red yet. So if I pick up those red and go 1, 2. That's what I'm going to do. So 1, 2, I pick up the 2 red. Now, have I cleared it out? No, but I do have the option to pay $3 to get some market cards, which I will do. But first, I'm going to do this. Now, what red does is it allows you to assassinate somebody else's meeples or meeples on the board. Now, if I look over here, I can discard these and kill one of the pink player's meeples. But I don't want to do that. I actually want to kill something on the board. So, I can only kill 1 meeple no matter how many red meeples I picked up. But the amount of red meeples that I picked up, it tells me how far away I can go. So, 2 means that I can go 2 spaces. So, 1, 2. So I can go here, here, oh no, sorry, yeah, here, 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 okay? Or even here, or here, or here. So I'm going to discard these 2, and I'm going to destroy this meeple. Now this meeple goes away, it's destroyed, but I have now claimed, I've taken a meeple off, which means that in this particular case, if you ever kill a meeple on the board, and that meeple means, destroying that meeple means that there's no more meeples on a tile, well, you get to claim it. So, was it the pink player? Yeah, the pink player now gets to place a camel, which means that at the end of the game, he'll get 6 victory points. Also, you're not going to be able to do this action. It's only when you take meeples off a card. So he's claimed it, but he doesn't get this action. But he does get this action. So he's going to spend 3 to take 1 card. And he's going to look cheap, cheap. I'll take this card. And he puts it in his tableau, which means that he's doing pretty good. He's got 4 different cards, which means right now 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 13 points. Okay, so pink goes again. And we've done yellow, we've done white meeples, we've done green meeples and blue meeples. Have we done the blue meeples? Yes, we have. So that and red meeples. That is it. So we can just look at some strategy here. So it is Pink's turn again. And what Pink would want to do, let's say, is get to an area where there's no more meeples or there's one type of meeple and try to end off there. So if he moved this way, there's 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. He could do it and actually claim this for 6 points. Okay, so let's see that happen. And could he do anything else? 2. So he could. Okay, so watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Claims this. Puts a camel, 6 points. Can assassinate 2 away. Well, 2 away. So he'll take this, destroy this, which means he puts a camel out, claims this as his, and there you go. These meeples are destroyed, and he can spend $3 to get. So he spends $3 and takes the this F. Let's make sure he doesn't have it. Oh, he already has it. So forget it. We'll get the wheat instead. Bam. And that is how, the game really comes together, and you get a whole bunch of actions moving around and all kind of juicy things. He did quite well there. So let's see what blue can do. Blue moves his guy over here, and blue's going to go... Blue is going to... What else is there out there? Well, there's no guys with 1 or a single color out on the board, so he wouldn't be able to claim a particular spot. But let's see, is there any that have 5 meeples on it? Let's pretend there is 5 meeples here. So what he could do is, let's pretend there's 5 here. So he could drop this off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the shortest route, so you can come back and claim a tile. So after that was 5, he could go all the way around, claim these 2, put it in his supply, and he would be able to get this 15 point, which he would put down a camel, and then immediately he would be able to buy a djinn, which he would buy a djinn for 2. And I'm not sure if he bought a genie this round or not, but he would, maybe not. He'll buy this, which states that when he puts down a palm tree, he doesn't just have to put it on the area where the palm tree says, so he doesn't just have to put it on the tile, he could put it on any adjacent tile, even diagonally. Okay? And it's also worth 10 victory points. So that was a good turn for blue there. So that's about it. I'm not going to go any further. I've pretty much shown you what 5 Tribes is all about and how it plays. So I will wrap it up by giving a review in a different video. Let me know what you think. Give me some thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you wish. See you next time. Have a good night.